Against the challenges of dust storms and a harsh climate, the human civilization on Mars is slowly growing. At the center of this is the Terraforming Committee, where corporations and lobby groups struggle to make their voices heard. It is a time of turmoil in which the corporations need to navigate natural disasters, social movements, and high level politics. Hey everyone, I'm Richard. This is Grey Wizard Games, and today I am reviewing the latest expansion from Fricks Games, Terraforming Mars Turmoil. In this expansion for Terraforming Mars, the landscape of the solar system has become somewhat turbulent. So as things continue to happen, the terraforming of Mars is becoming more contested. In some cases, it's not happening at all, or not happening very fast. Definitely, if you've added all the expansions like we have, sometimes we don't focus very much on terraforming, probably to the downside of the planet. I just imagine some corporations pulling out all the good resources of Mars, taking it all back to Earth and saying, well, take your mud ball and do what you want with it. Well, that's the kind of stuff that has caused the formation of the Terraforming Council. This expansion gives you 3 primary additions to the gameplay. The first being the Terraforming Council itself. This is a board. They give you these gray neutral tokens. They give you some color-coded tokens based off your normal player faction color, and this board that represents the 6 political parties of Mars. So as you play, different political parties will gain control of that generation, and for that generation, their policies will have an effect on all the players. And they have an effect in terms of, if you do this, then you get this benefit or negative. And then at the end of the generation, you are rewarded or punished a certain way based off of that political party. So you can use your free delegate and you can say, well, my play style is based around the science tag. Okay, great. So you put your politician over in scientists, and then you can go ahead and even spend some more money, and you can say, well, I'm going to spend I'm going to spend more money to put more delegates there. Boom. And that would probably make you the leader of that delegate or that party, and hopefully your party would become the dominant party. At that point, you would put one of these little tokens out, and that is the dominant policy for the next generation. That change of parties is going to happen almost guaranteed every single generation. So you cannot ignore the board. You can choose not to spend any money sending delegates, but that's going to hurt you too, because every generation now, everybody loses a terraforming rating. So except then you have some opportunities to gain terraforming rating back, but that's really only going to happen if you participate in the political system. So that's a component. Then you've got the second component, which is the global events. The global events are some pretty cool things like improved energy templates. So when this event occurs, for this generation, you can, or actually at this event stage, you get 1 energy production for every 2 energy tags. Influence counts as power tags in this scenario too. So, okay. So possibly you could have 4 to 6 power tags easily. That's a huge boost in energy production. There's another one, lose 4 money for each tile adjacent to ocean. Okay, so that's a negative event. So if you had built next to the ocean, now you're going to be punished. Well, is that a little unfair? Well, not really, because you actually have a little bit of foreshadowing to base your gameplay experience around. See, every generation, you move a event over, and now that generation, now that that event has moved over, then you're gonna affect the political system based off the little symbols, and then you're going to, do the thing, but then you're going to move the furthest global event over into the coming global event, and then you're going to flip over a new card, and now effectively you have 2 entire generations to prepare and plan for, in this case, home world support. Gain 2 money for each Earth tag. So the next couple generations, you're kind of going to be looking for those Earth tags. Obviously, you don't want to dramatically change your strategy off of 1 card. However, given 2 equally valid choices, of course, you should choose the Earth tag because it gives you a little bit extra. And 2 money per is not, not something you should ignore, not entirely. All right, so you got those 2 components, and then the other thing, and this is, I love this, these player boards. Man, I had bought I bought these like plastic overlays that kind of did the same thing, but these are cool. These are so much better. They're just so much more colorful. I just love this layout. It is great. Thank you, Fricks Games. I mean, I just think it's so cool. The first game I saw have these kind of things was Scythe. And after that, every game designer I knew was like, I want those in my game. And I'm so happy that Terraforming Mars now has it inside the base game components, first party game components. So these are super cool. They really do. If you don't play with some sort of a liner, when you bump the table, you're not going to know, where you're at. And there you go. Okay, well, they're not made for showing off in a video, but in terms of flat, they are pretty good. Okay, in a major 7.0 earthquake, they're not going to make it. But at my table, when we bumped it, things didn't move. That's all we really want. So pretty cool. All right, what else do we have inside the box? Well, we have 5 new corporations, and they're cool. None of them seem broken, so that's good. I love new corporations. I would always choose to play with a corporation that I've never played with before over a corporation that I've played with before that I think might be strong. That's just me. I want new. This is how I play Terraforming Mars. So that's cool. You get these little party reminder cards. I don't know why Fricks Games does this to us. They give you 2. They give you 2 turn summary cards, packs, because there's like 3 of them. They give you 2 of these. It's like they want you to share. I don't want to share, guys. No, seriously, it's not about sharing or not sharing. It's that we often play with 5 people, and it's one thing to put these reminder cards between somebody. It's an entirely different thing to have multiple faces of the table, and it's like, well, can you hand me it again because I don't remember or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like it should be, divided by 2 roundup, maybe, is the number of these that you should include. Would it have cost that much more to include 1 more, maybe? But maybe they felt if they included 1 more, that they might as well include 5. I'm with it, guys. Include 5. Plenty of these games include 1 per player for these reminder cards. Having said that, we didn't even really look at them too much after we were playing a bit. So, these are pretty bright and big. The board is bright and big. Maybe you don't need the reminder cards, and they just felt like the cards were like just an extra nicety. Okay. You have a relatively small number of project cards. The project cards are good and cool. Not a lot to them. Definitely I can't get too excited about the project cards because there is so many, right? I mean, this is just so many project cards. And I think personally, if I was at Fricks Games and I thought, well, the players would love more project cards. Yeah, maybe. But the more project cards you sell, the harder it is to convince me to want more expansions, because I just, I hate to add so many cards and not even see them. Most games, I mean, we're not going to get through more than a third of that deck at this point. I think we need another type of project cards, personally. I don't know what those look like, but my hope would be the next expansion would be specialized projects that maybe instead of blue, they have an effect on the world. So if you build it, then it's now a permanent change to the landscape. Something like that. Having said that, what is my opinion on the expansion in general? Well, I think that this is my number 2 favorite expansion. Prelude is still my number 1. Man, I love those Prelude cards. The Prelude cards help accelerate the game. This just makes the gameplay more interesting and more collaborative. Not necessarily collaborative, but more interactive. And I love that. I really like the political system. It is great. I really like the global cards. It's great. I love this expansion. This is a really good expansion. I actually think this is my number 1 purchase pick. I would purchase Turmoil before I purchase Prelude, even though I love Prelude the most. I love Prelude the most. These player boards are super cool. The political system is super cool. The interactions with the players, it's just all good. I love this expansion. You notice I didn't say anything about terraforming Mars colonies. That's so complicated. Terraforming Mars colonies is just complicated. There's lots of text all over those different colonies. And so I asked myself, is this expansion too complicated? You got these 2 extra boards, you got all kinds of stuff going on. Is this frustrating the way colonies frustrates us? No. The answer is no. We got it. By the 2nd generation, we got it. I think maybe the 3rd generation, we were kind of like, what's going on with the global events again? Like, because, you know, from start to finish, effectively, the real kind of like scenario is, you know, you're revealing a card, and that's coming up 2 rounds from now. Okay, great. Then it's moving forward, and then the next one is moving forward, and then it's flipping. I mean, there's kind of a lot of card shuffling going on right there. But by 3rd generation, I'm pretty sure we did it right every single time. But by 3rd generation, it was instinctual. We were done. We were good. And that's what I want. I want an ever-growing landscape of interactions and fiddly bits for our engines to interact with, right? We love building engines with Terraforming Mars. And we want more fiddly bits. We want more things we can do, and more choices and more strategies. And this expansion delivers some pretty heavy things that fiddle with your gameplay kind of against your will, and you have to interact with that and plan for it. And that it was fun, and it felt natural. And I think it felt natural because there was so much support on the boards to allow us to play with it. Colonies, I kind of brought it all out. It's just so many different planets and so many different weird things going on. I don't know. I like colonies. I just don't like it as much as I like this one. This was done right. I love this one. It's really good. Yeah. With that, I want to know what you guys think. I was talking with some friends who were like, what can we do for a Terraforming Mars video other than these reviews? I don't know. So I would love your ideas on what would you like to see as far as a strategy breakdown. I am a reliable number 2 player in Terraforming Mars. Reliable number 2. New players, old players, I very rarely win. And actually very rarely win almost any of the games. I'm almost always the number 2 player because I am the leader the whole game and everybody at the table takes me out. Or everybody is focused on like, better watch out for Richard. Better not pass Richard good cards. Oh, look, you can see Richard. He's doing stuff with animals. Don't pass him, animal cards. And I'm okay with that because I feel like that's kind of a compliment to have the entire rest of the table constantly try to hold me back. And I love that fear when they think I've won. And maybe like typically another player has beat me by 1 point. And it's like, again, I was winning the whole game, but I just couldn't quite hold on to like the extra little things. And sometimes I don't give it 110%. I'm not trying to ruthlessly like destroy people. But I thought about that and I was like, so there's definitely a lot of strategy in terraforming Mars because if you can reliably win, and the people who win Terraforming Mars reliably win. So it's not this random game. A lot of people feel like, well, it's just random, and that's why I don't like it or whatever. It's not random. You're making constant strategic choices, and I'm just not 100% sure how to share that knowledge in any kind of sensible way other than breaking down the point calculations and saying this is why you do this when you get this card, because even though it's amazing, there's only 4 more cards that work with it out of this whole thing, and the rest of the people at the table won't give it to you, so don't keep that card. That's the kind of calculations that go through my head. I don't know. I want to know, what should I do? This is my first video of 2020, and I hope everyone had a happy new year. Yeah, this is literally the first day of the year, I think, is when this is going live. So hope everyone had a happy new year. I hope nobody has too much hangovers or whatever it is you guys get. And with that, wrong. Oh wait,
bye guys.
no.